Good morning. Today we're going to start stoichiometry. Stoichiometry is how we figure out how much of one thing we need to react with something else to get a certain outcome. If we start with this equation, which is the respiration equation, this is what's going on in all your little bodies right now. Sugar is being burned up, reacting with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water. And it's a ratio. If we think of these coefficients as ratios, 1 to 6 to 6 to 6. So we know that for every one sugar, we know we need 6 oxygens. So if we had 2 sugars, how many oxygens would we need? We would need 12. So on and so forth. That's a ratio. Okay, 1 is to 6 as 2 is to 12. You guys have learned that in math. Now, this is the kind of thing you would use if you were doing a recipe. Let's say I wanted to make cookies. This is my mother's favorite recipe for making chocolate chip cookies. This recipe makes 60 cookies, but let's say I want to make 90 cookies. If I want to make 90 cookies, I have to figure out those ratios. And the way I do that, if I want 90 cookies, I'm going to multiply that by the number of cookies normally you would make. And first one is flour. If I need 2.25 normally, how much flour am I going to need to make 90 cookies? Multiply it out, the cookies will cancel. And you end up 90 times 2.25 divided by 60. 3.375. So 3.4 cups of flour is what you would need. All right. Same thing for the next one, which is baking soda. For the baking soda, we know that 90 cookies is what we're looking for. We know that 60 cookies requires 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So once again, 90 times 1 divided by 60, we would need 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. And I can go on, but I think you can figure it out. Okay? Same thing with stoichiometry. And I'm going to introduce something and have you make a new tool to go with your mole map. And this tool is called the mole bridge. So, see if it'll work. I need to hit paste. And of course it covers up what I had on there, but I can pull it down. The mole bridge. You're going to take moles that you know. You multiply them by the ratio of the known to unknown, which comes from your coefficients. And then you multiply, and that answer will give you your unknown. Okay, so I've given you a blank map like this on orange paper. So you pass that out now, please. And you're going to use that. Okay. So here's our first question. It tells us 2 moles of nitrogen is what we have. And we want to know, we're solving for X. So our known is 2 moles. I'm going to start with 2 moles. If I bring my mole bridge down here. 2 moles is what I know. What is my ratio of known to unknown? Well, 1 needs 3. 1 is what I know, so 1 goes in the bottom. And what goes in the top? 3. My nitrogens will cancel, and I need 6 hydrogens. 6 moles of hydrogen. And you say, well, that's silly. You know, you just multiply it by 2, right? Well, yeah, that's essentially what we've done. We've multiplied it by 2. Let's try another one. Once again, I'm going to bring our little mole bridge in. Make him a little smaller. What's my known information? I know that I have 6 moles of potassium chlorate. My ratio of potassium chlorate to oxygen is 2 to 3. What goes on the bottom? The known ratio. And 3 is going to go on the top. So now if I multiply that, 6 times 3 is 18, divided by 2, I end up with 9 moles of oxygen. So, starting with 6 moles, I'm going to end with 9 moles. Okay? Does that make sense? 2 gives me 3. 6 will give me 9. Okay, let's go on to the next one in your note sheet. If I have 3 moles of zinc, what is his ratio? We know there's 1 zinc, and we're solving for hydrogen. 1 mole of zinc will make 1 mole of hydrogen. So how much hydrogen are we going to make if we start with 3? We're going to make 3 moles of hydrogen. If I start with 4 moles of propane, C3H8, what's my ratio of propane to oxygen? Well, 1 mole of propane will react with 3 moles of oxygen. So if I have 4 moles of propane, I should get 12 moles of I should need 12 moles of oxygen. Those cancel. Let's try another one. I know that I have 2.5 moles of potassium phosphate. What's my ratio? I'm just going to move this whole thing over because I'm magic and I can. What is my ratio of potassium phosphate to potassium nitrate? 1 mole of K3PO4 reacts with 3 moles of KNO3. And 2.5 times 3 would be, I should be able to do this in my head, 2.5 times 3 would be, I did divide, 6. No, I did 2 times 3. 2.5 times 3 would be 7.5. Okay, 3rd time's a charm there. Okay, we will go on with mass tomorrow. So what you're going to do the rest of the hour is you have a worksheet on moles that you need to turn in before you leave. If it's done or not done, it gets turned in. Okay, those of you that are struggling, ask for help from your neighbors. I will be back tomorrow. I will have Girl Scout cookies. And we'll see you then.